Well, it looks like Mark Alexis Cody of Ubisoft is in the news once again. To set the stage here over on Fandom Pulse, they wrote, Assassin's Creed executive producer Mark Alexis Cody says video games can change the world by changing people. If this sounds familiar, it's because we did discuss Mark Alexis Cody 2 weeks ago on the channel in the video titled Ubisoft Just Went Off on Gamers. So that's the guy we're going to be talking about here in another article that Fandom Pulse has titled Ubisoft Executive says Assassin's Creed Shadows devs, quote, think it's the worst thing they've ever seen, unquote. That information coming from this nearly hour-long video titled Mark Alexis Cody XDS24 Fireside Keynote. And now that the stage is set, so to speak, let's continue on. Fandom Pulse says, during the Q&A portion of the interview, Mark Alexis Cody also revealed that many of the people working at Ubisoft on the Assassin's Creed franchise have no experience with the franchise. He said, one of the things that I've noticed since the pandemic is that we have a lot of juniors in our teams. Probably half the team that's building Assassin's Creed is building a game for the first time. So they don't know, even though they're playing the game right now, and they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. It's going to be good. We're going to get there. Okay, pause. This interview is from October 29th, only 2 weeks ago. And side note, you can see they locked the comments. Not surprising. Okay, so first of all, the obvious. It's hilarious that devs on AC Shadows think it's the worst thing they've ever seen. Now, if I were to give this guy as much grace as possible, maybe he's implying that it's because these devs are new and they're not confident in their skills to build a game. Maybe that's what he means, but it still sounds hilarious. And despite, according to him, half the team being new to game development, that still means that half the team isn't. And the best that these people are coming up with is something that they think is terrible? I mean, this does not sound very good. So keeping all that in mind, plus what he also said about how he says, it's going to be good, we're going to get there. That sounds like some pre-alpha or maybe like alpha phase talk. But this game's supposed to release in like 2 to 3 months. And they're still talking like that. It's going to be fine, guys. We're going to get there. It's going to be good. And they actually wanted to release this game on November 15th originally. You can just imagine what a disaster that would have been. I mean, heck, it still sounds like it's going to be a disaster. So I just spent like 15 minutes skipping through this interview because I figured it would be hilarious to hear the dude say it, like that quote himself, but I can't find it, man. I don't want to watch the whole like hour-long thing right now either. So moving back to Fandom Pulse. Okay, so next they're just providing the quote that I mentioned earlier about Ubisoft's statement on delaying AC Shadows. We'll take a look at this again, I suppose. It's been a while since I read this. They say, while the game is feature complete, the learnings from Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title, that being AC Shadows. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure, with Naui and Yasuke bringing 2 very different gameplay styles. We are departing from the traditional Season Pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. The game will mark the return of our new releases on Steam Day 1. So it's really interesting that they say that, because 2 days ago there was a post on our Gaming Leaks and Rumors titled Information and Assets of the Upcoming Animus Hub from Assassin's Creed and Shadows has leaked, with some edits from Ubisoft's official response. But first, let's get the context. So they originally said here in the post, before that part, first, look inside the loading room of the Animus Hub where you as a player are controlling the avatar of Yasuke. Battle Pass information. Season 1, all rewards are free. You know, some more info here, so some free rewards, but still a Battle Pass system. It looks like these images have all been DMCA'd by Ubisoft, but we can see some text info. For example, this pack with 500 Helix credits, 600 Helix credits, some like weapons and stuff, a mount. There will also be partnerships in game with companies like Red Bull, Visa, and Intel. A top comment saying, please don't let this mean the next 5 years of Assassin's Creed are merged into one trophy list like COD is. Someone says 100% what's going to happen. A different response reading, not only will it happen, but the awful part is that non-traditional AC games will also be quote-unquote DLC to Shadows. Like there are rumors for a PvP game, VR, etc., since all of them will also likely be a part of the Animus Hub. So as someone who likes to 100% my games, but only wants to play certain AC titles, not every single thing Ubisoft makes, this is a big deal breaker for me. So likely I won't play any AC titles anymore until the Animus Hub is gone. And if you're wondering what exactly this Animus Hub thing is, from AssassinsCreed.fandom.com they say, Animus Hub, formerly known as Assassin's Creed Infinity, is an upcoming game hub for the Assassin's Creed series. Expected to launch coinciding with the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, it will be a live service platform which hosts the modern-day storyline, serve as an entry point to the wider franchise for newcomers, and eventually span numerous historical settings and incorporate multiplayer. Now going back to that Reddit post, we'll take a look at the edit regarding Ubisoft's response as mentioned. So it says, edit, Ubisoft comments on the leak from the official Discord and Reddit. Quote, Hello everyone. It has come to our attention that inaccurate rumors have been circulating online regarding the upcoming Animus Hub, X codename Infinity. We wanted to take this occasion to clarify that all the rewards available in Animus Hub will be entirely free. There are no paid subscriptions or paid battle pass featured in the Animus Hub, and players will have access to regular content and missions at no extra cost. We will unveil more detail about it closer to the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Thank you. And the user is saying, note, this is the first time they officially refer to it as the Animus Hub. On the Assassin's Creed subreddit, this would get them some more positive reception. For example, this top response reading, I like that all rewards will be free. I just really hope they're not missable and can be done at any point, even in later Battle Pass seasons. We go on holiday literally the day after Shadows is now set to release, which doesn't help. However, conversely, back on our gaming leaks and rumors, a top response responding to Ubisoft's statement says, this sounds like something Ubisoft wouldn't do, so what's the catch? Another user saying, Ubisoft isn't doing too hot right now. I think Outlaws forced their leadership to realize their current direction won't keep working. I don't know, man. Ubisoft is extremely stubborn amongst other things. In my opinion, it's like I'll believe it when I see it sort of thing, right? Like they say one thing, but maybe they'll monetize it a different way, you know? Maybe they really will make everything free and make all this new content for free for people, and it's like a wonderful thing, but I think it's totally reasonable to be skeptical of anything Ubisoft does nowadays, given their track record. On that note, while I wasn't able to find the part of Alexis Cody's interview that I was looking for, I did find a section where he talks vaguely about Ubisoft's plans for AC Shadows moving forward, and trying to make it quote-unquote more welcoming. So you might find that interesting after what we just took a look at.
Each time you can start fresh.
Yes.
But there's risk to starting fresh every time, right? You need to building these protagonists so that they're engaging, so that people relate to them. So once you've got a recipe, like it's no wonder they're still making Indiana Jones, right? You can relate to Indiana Jones, and people instantly gravitate towards like the persona of the character. But it's a challenge on Assassin's Creed to start fresh, but it's also an opportunity to try to innovate. And I think that's one of the things that people will notice starting with Shadows is that we've tried to make the game, the franchise more welcoming by focusing more, I should say focusing differently on, because Assassin's Creed is two stories at the same time. It's always been that way. You've got the present day, so how you're going into the past has its own story, and you have the past itself. So we've bundled those two stories very differently for Shadows that will allow us to have more flexibility into the future to make the franchise more welcoming, so that we avoid the Star Wars issues like who's the dude with the black helmet.
Alrighty guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think about these statements from Alexis Cody, including the beginning where we went over that dev stuff about like this is the worst game they've ever seen, as well as the recent leaks and that stuff at the end. And of course, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.